Today's show, drop-ins with Mike Johns and Carrie Houston. It's a visit with a person of high strangeness. One of the great things about television or anything you want to present is when we are able to be flexible as to what's next and what do we want to do or not to. Anyway, I'm not able to go on the road this year financially. And so I thought, well, I'll ask some of the friends to send DVDs and things, you know, things that they made themselves, and maybe we can put some things together. So while I was in the process of doing this, the doorbell rings, and here's one of my reporters from Lake Stevens, which is, for those of you that don't live here, that's quite a long ways from here. About a 2.5 hour drive if you're lucky. And so anyway, he just dropped in, and so we did a lot of things, prepared for other shows and everything. And so while he was here, I thought, well, we'll do an interview. And so I'm going to share that with you. We haven't really talked to Mike per se in a couple of years maybe. And so I thought you may enjoy taking a look at Mike and seeing what it is that was important to us for that day. And so I'm gonna talk to Mike Johns for a little while, and we'll see where we're gonna go with that. So enjoy. Well, hello, Mike.
Hello, Miss Lilian.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, we've been looking at your... God, we haven't seen you. I haven't seen you in over a year.
Yes.
Yeah, but you've been staying in touch and sending footage and places you went.
Yes.
I heard there's a story that went along with your Granite Falls shoot.
Oh, which one was that?
You filmed it last year?
Yes,
where you went to the, what do you call it, the locks?
I went to the fish ladder.
That's what it was.
In Granite Falls, yes.
Loud.
All right.
Talk loud.
Yes.
Yeah, and but eventually we got it all.
We got it all. We filmed it once, and it was too much noise. There was a lot of people making noise as we filmed coming down the trail, and sun and the camera not cooperating. So we did it a second time, and that one was much better. But we got better footage, and we got pictures of before the falls and the fish ladder itself, and how they put everything together. Yeah,
well, they the viewers are familiar with that. I just wanted to you since you're one of my reporters, we don't talk to you very often.
Yes.
And people unfortunately don't realize what we go through sometimes just to
get a story together.
To get a story together, yeah, that was kind of it. Yeah. Do you have any plans for the summer?
Well, plans for the summer to do more footage for a person of high strangeness for the TV shows in Lilian, and we want to cover northeast, south, and west of Granite Falls.
Which would be up and down and left and right for me.
Yes.
I don't do
directions very well.
So up and down, left and right.
Yes.
That's what we're gonna do. Actually, that's what we could name it, you know, up and down and left and right.
Yes, we could.
Yeah, there's an idea.
To the north of us, we have Arlington, and to the west, we have Marysville, and to the south, we have Snohomish and Lake Stevens, and some of those other good places that have wonderful things in them.
Now do east. Do right.
Do right. Behind us, we have the mountain range there. We have Mount Pilchuck.
Mount Pilchuck, yeah, that's right. But you know what? The left and right, that would be depending where you're sitting. So you're opposite. Oh God, this is weird, huh?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So
We're going to cover some of that too. We've got Jim Creek on the top of Blue Mountain out there. It has it's a radio-controlled center for the U.S. Navy.
I don't know if we can film that or not.
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
You know, I thought our life would be a little easier as far as filming and attitude and what we say. But here in the last, as we're filming this, it's the middle of June. As we speak here, we had all these nutty people going around killing people.
That's right.
So in a way, nothing's changed for us. In fact, we have to be more responsible.
More responsible and very careful about what we say and
we have more nuts
say
than we did.
We also have rules and regulations that have been put in place as far as filming.
Yeah, but we always been very respectful. We always follow the rules on that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I'm talking about the people that see something and want to go
a little bit more to the
postal
right
on us, huh?
Yeah, postal. Yeah, it's just they have a different way of thinking.
Uh-huh.
And we deal with people every day.
Mm-hmm.
And we work with all sorts of different nationalities, races. We also, towards Marysville, we have the Tulalip Indian Reservation. And out where I am in Granite Falls, there's a lot of Indian places. I'm not sure of the tribes, but we have not national monuments, but places that have been named where Indians used to be.
Uh-huh. Now, one of the problems we have right now that we really didn't have
yes.
A few years ago, when we talk to people, we want to be descriptive.
That's right.
So we say, well, this is a Native American, or this is an Indian, or a person from the Philippines. In some kind of way, in some crazy haze, things have gotten so bizarre that we don't know what to say as far as you know
description,
what I mean?
Yes, as a description or explaining something, we have to be very careful.
They should make a new vocabulary. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. Something new, but we've been different and inventive in the way that you've set the standard and the pace, and when you put together a show, and you do put it together yourself, and most of the time you do it in your own comforts of your workshop here, instead of going to TCTV and working there, because things get a little difficult and out of hand, and we need to have more cooperation in that way. And
that means my phone is out of juice. No birds for us anymore.
Uh-oh. It's not beeping anymore.
When an earthquake comes in, there's a bird that yells at us.
Yes.
I was at an event, and this Native American woman and I, we were in a conversation, and we talked about the fact that we thought we were on Indian time.
Yes.
And it was perceived as a racial, as a
racial remark.
Well, what do you call that? It wasn't really a racial remark. It was politically incorrect or something.
Incorrect. Okay.
Yeah, like you're a racist type person, and we laughed because to us it meant natural time.
That's right.
You know.
Natural time and the way it should be, and people take things out of context.
They did, because we don't speak the same language anymore. So it's real complicated. You don't know what words to use anymore.
No.
So do you find that also, or is it just me?
No, I also find it in conversations with people. In everyday life, you have to be careful what you say and how you say it. I'm very respectful of people and people's feelings, where others are not. And they say what they feel and feel what they mean, and they are not considerate. They like to put people in positions of uncomfortableness, and they want to. They're in a power struggle, and I am not. I'm not a power-hungry person. I try to do the best for people, places, and things, and my family, and I'm not judgmental. Everybody has to do a one-on-one with whoever they have, and they have to do it the way that they want to do it with their creator.
Yeah. This is a different subject here.
All right.
You and I went to Chehalis yesterday.
Yes, we did.
And, well, I had been in other areas the day before. But then anyway, we drove the back roads. And let's talk about the lack of...
Oh, there was a lack of flowers, foliage. It seems like there's very little foliage in flowers. I'm not sure what it could be. It could be the chemtrails from overhead, or it could be something else, weather. But we're not getting the flowers and the beauty that we've had before.
Nothing. Yeah, it looked real gray and just green.
Yes, just green. And
now we went from Olympia to Tonino to Chehalis.
That's right.
Then to Yelm.
Right.
Then to Tomodi. So we made, what, a 60-mile radius? I mean, we drove 60 miles, so I don't know what the radius of that would be. Anyway, it's big.
Big, yes.
Yeah, and so there was a follow-up to what I had done the day before. No flowers at people's houses. There are no gardens. Some of the bushes that have colored blooms, that come up each year.
Yes, they're not there.
Most of them aren't there, and the ones that are there, they look...
They've died off.
Yeah.
They've bloomed and just gone... they've fallen off, and you can see it on the ground as you pass by.
Yeah, now you live up north in
Granite Falls. Actually, it's Lake Stevens.
Have you noticed the same thing there?
No, I see a lot more foliage, a lot more flowers. Along the highway, though, I have to be along 92 coming out of Granite Falls. There is a shortage of flowers in the way that they should be. Yes, there is.
Yeah. And then we even thought, too, that maybe people didn't have money to plant flowers.
That's right.
Economic. But if it's economic, we went through some rich neighborhoods.
Yes, we did. And we saw a lot of plastic flowers, along the side that were there. And just, it was unusual.
Yeah.
It had beauty with it.
Yeah. Just strange times.
Yes, very strange.
Okay, let's see. So your plans for the summer are
to put together some shows and help, and then I'm going to work with my family and friends and just do the best I can with my disability.
So no skydiving for you?
No skydiving and no fencing, no sword play. I used to be heavy in martial arts. No more martial arts. Just filming and watching nature and doing the best to swap campfire stories and do the best we can with our family.
That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah. Campfire story.
Yes.
War stories.
We all have those.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been involved in all sorts of different things. And then we stopped at one of the casinos last night to eat.
Oh, the Red Wind. That was your first experience with that. That food.
That's right. Oh, it was so beautiful. The salmon was just out of this world. Just melted in your mouth. Oh.
We can't show it to you. They won't let us take cameras in.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
With the food, they had meat dishes, they had pastry, they had all sorts of vegetables.
There was a, I like the shrimp, so I asked one of the waitresses.
That's right.
What do you call this? And tell them,
Well, she went back to talk to the chef.
Yeah.
And the chef explained exactly what was in the mixture that he put with the shrimp, put around it, in it. And then she came to the table and she was telling you about it. And then there was another waiter that came over to want to know. And we said, we can't tell you, it's a secret.
Yeah, so I got the recipe.
You got the recipe, yeah, she wrote down the recipe, and I thought it was, for a man to say it's cute, but it was cute.
It was cute.
Yes.
Yeah, you can say cute. And then she called it Indian scampi.
Yes.
Now, so I don't know if that's correct or not either, but that's what she called it. Indian scampi. It was good.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And then we went to a part of the casino there where we recreated something that happened in the past.
Oh, the alien. When
Yes.
I ran into the alien.
Yes.
Okay, really, really quick. I'm gonna tell a story, and then I'm gonna get your take on it. Okay.
All right.
Some of you are familiar with the story. I go to the casino. The bar is a little elevated, so when I get to the second step, I sense there is something that didn't belong there.
Not right.
Yeah, so I sat down with my friends. Eventually, so I scanned the room with my eyes. Eventually, I stopped on a very tall, very handsome, Nordic-looking gentleman with a diamond in his ear. He had it on a tie and everything. I looked at him, and he looked back, and we kind of knew that we had recognized one another.
That's right.
Then he got up. He deliberately bumped into my friend Amy. I didn't respond. He went. He asked the woman next to her to dance. They danced. Now, I couldn't see the dance floor, so somebody pointed out to me that I should turn around and look. And I looked, and what I thought was snake boots were really his feet.
Yes.
Reptoid feet. So, he's on his way back to sit down, and I must have turned my eyes for a second or less. And on the table where he was supposed to sit was a Tibetan monk holding a glass with a whiskey on ice, and he kind of, gestured, prost or whatever.
Yes.
Later on that night, we discussed it with the band. We asked them what they saw, and there were 6, 8, 9 of us, and we all saw the same thing. This person, what appeared to be a person, was not a person. So yesterday, what did we do?
We recreated the situation.
Mm-hmm.
We went and we sat down and we looked at where he was sitting. It was right in front of the man that does the lights and the music.
Uh-huh.
And so his back was covered, so there was no one behind him.
Yeah.
Okay. He had full access to see around him, and it was quite unusual the way that he came towards Amy and brushed into her as we recreated the situation.
Right.
And then he walked around and asked someone to dance, and then he was out on the dance floor, and the recreation of everything was really unusual. And for a Tibetan monk to drink his drink over ice afterwards, he disappeared. We don't know where he went to, but he disappeared, and we talked about that.
Now, me telling it to you.
Yes, it was quite a bit different than talking to me over the phone and describing it. Because in my mind, I'm watching things as you're describing it to me, I'm progressively looking and seeing things in my third eye. I'm watching, and I'm seeing things quite differently than the description over the phone.
So what was, did it have an impact on you to know the distance?
Yes, it did. The distance was quite within 20 feet. He impacted everybody that was around him. He looked towards you for, he wanted to make sure that his cover wasn't blown and you didn't come with any kind of hostility in any way to describe him or to blow his cover. But you knew the minute you walked into the room something was different.
Something was different.
It was not right, and that's you. You can pick it up right away.
Yeah. So I think that sometimes when we tell a story, and people say, yeah, they understand.
They don't. They don't understand. If they come with you and you describe it to them, they can see it exactly the way that you saw it. And for this particular story, there was other people, the band, that saw the same thing that you did. And
but from a different angle.
From a different angle. Everybody's angle was different, and they saw the feet.
Yeah, we created where the musicians were sitting.
And they thought it was like snake boots. And
no,
so
I'm the one that thought it was snake boots.
You thought it was snake boots, and they thought it was something different.
Lizard feet.
Yeah, lizard feet is the way that they described it.
Yeah. Now, and then when you add the lights to the stage, in the daytime the floor looks really dark.
Yes.
But once you turn those lights on, the floor looks really light. So you can really see what's on that dance floor.
That's correct. And I was amazed at the fact that he was dressed very nice.
Very nice.
I mean, with a diamond in his ear, and he was well dressed, well behaved, well mannered, and
just not from here.
Just not from here.
Yeah, we still talk about that.
We still talk about it, but there's also, when you walk in, you can feel something different. I felt something different there as we were talking about it.
In fact, I don't remember how long after that, but Vanessa, one of the lady singers, and she said, "Well, the aliens, please stand up."
That's right.
It was a private joke, yeah. You know, it was funny.
If you're here, please stand up.
Please stand up, yeah.
Let us recognize you.
Yeah, so, but there was... okay, so thank you for giving me a perception on that.
Oh, yes, and then we came out, and they parked our car for us, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Everyone was quite hospitable. In the casino, as we're coming out, we talked about the feeling that we received. We got a feeling of people being desperate.
Desperate, no money.
No money, and trying to earn money there. And then we came out and we drove over to get some fuel for the car, and we saw the jail. And
oh yeah, the jail. Yeah.
The jail is being rented. In front of the jail is a children's playground, and we laughed about that.
Daycare, yeah.
Yeah, a daycare, but they rent the jail out.
So if you ever get arrested in Tomwater,
look out.
That's where you're going.
You're going to the
so we know where to find you. Well, okay. If you can think of anything you want to say, because it's getting late, and if you don't get on that highway, it's a Friday.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
The thing I want to say is for everybody to remember your Creator, and there's a reason for you being here. And We always say love and light, and we mean it. We try to work with the light to help others, and in situations that we don't understand, we like to talk. You and I talk, and others talk with you, and there are situations that are all throughout the world, and people need to understand that other cultures are different. And because you disagree with what we say, you're not our mortal enemy. We love you just the same. We don't want, you can disagree with us, but don't be angry. Learn what we learn. Understand what we understand, and we study. Every night we study something different.
You study.
Yes.
I accidentally fall into it.
That's right.
It's like today, I think it's the President Bush Sr.'s 85th birthday, and he's skydiving.
Skydiving.
And it appeared that he was sitting in this little something, and his partner, his person, his guardian held him, and he just floated through the air, and so when he hit the ground, he was buffered.
He was buffered. All sorts of security guards came to help him.
Yeah, but I bet you, while he was up there, he had no clue which way to go on.
But we have to remember that George Bush Sr. is the one that was shot down during World War II. He understands what fear is.
Yeah, I know what you want to say next. We can't say that on TV.
We won't say that.
Okay, but here's the thing. I keep saying but I don't know why I'm saying this. However, sometimes we just have to go to the flow.
That's right.
And it depends how you situate yourself when you hit the ground.
That's
and that's
right.
kind of where we are, isn't it?
It is. We try to land on our feet. If we don't land on our feet, we land on our tush. We know a little bit about pain.
And that's it, yeah.
Yeah, we roll with it. We do the best that we can.
Actually, you do. I have seen you fall and roll at the same time.
I've done that.
I don't know if now, I can catch myself in midair. Have you ever seen me do that?
Yes, I have. And I'm amazed. And yesterday, there was something coming at us, and I started to say, look out, and you just reached out with your hand, and you stopped what was coming your way and caught it and brought it in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we have these abilities. So I'm so glad you came and visited us, and you keep up the good work. And
well, we'll do the best we can between us. And with all the other people that work with us. And we're grateful for our Creator and for the assignments that He gives us. And all the time we try to say, we don't want to go there, we don't want to do that. Yeah. But all of a sudden we find ourselves, the guardians and spirit guides say, this is going to happen to you. And you're going to experience it. And we try to say no, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It just
no, it's not the vocabulary.
Yeah. Well, so I hope you have a safe trip home.
I will.
Yeah, and well, that's all. So we're gonna. I don't at this moment, when as we're taping it, I don't know what I'm gonna put behind you here. So whatever it is, it's gonna be wonderful.
I know it is.
Okay, so you have a good trip.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I guess you caught up on that. So right after Mike left, now keep in mind this all happened one day. So Mike leaves, and I had to see about my garden and all this. And I get a phone call, and my friend Carrie Houston she said, are you hungry? And of course I'm always hungry. And so she said, well, I'm down here at Costco, so do you want some pizza? And I said, no, don't think so. And I settled for what was it, a Polish hot dog. You can get a hot dog and a soft drink or something for $1.15, so I thought it wasn't unreasonable, to request that. And so she did. She came by, brought my hot dog, and then, so we ate a hot dog, and then we had what is it called, a Greek salad? She had that, and then we piddled with this, and then we talked for a while, and time went on. So at 2 in the morning, we thought about that. Hey, we didn't care if we went to bed or not. Why don't we do an interview? And so we did. And so the next insert that you see is me talking to Carrie Houston, maybe at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And we had a couple of laughs, so we thought we'd share some ideas with you on that. And you haven't seen Carrie since she came back from her trip, so here's an update on Carrie Houston. Enjoy. Hey, we have another drop-in guest. Actually, she flew in. Hi, Carrie.
Hello, Lil.
I missed your birthday.
Several people did, but I was there.
Carrie Houston, everybody. She got on her plane and
Flew in.
flew in. That's a better word than dropped.
Yes. Much better, especially when you've been in the air.
Hey, you discovered tags, did you?
Yes.
Okay.
You got me set up to be there, and I finally figured out how to upload a picture and access it.
Originally, we was gonna look for men. And then,
That was the plan. I think.
in the meantime, we have established the nicest metaphysical community on computer you'll ever find, huh? Yeah.
Well, that's a better focus, I suppose.
Yeah, you know, some ladies, they go to, what do you call that, the Chippendales.
Oh, I've been to a Chippendales.
I never have.
Yeah, in Savannah, Georgia, way back when I was still in the Army.
Uh-huh. But this is close enough, huh?
You could have seen me glow. I was blushing so bad.
Yeah. It's just so you know, it's after midnight or later.
After midnight.
Yeah, and so our lighting is not so cool, but anyway. So what happened is I did some interviews today, and I had some time left, so I thought I'd ask you about your trip. And every once in a while, we'll show one of your pictures from that you have on tagged, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So how was your trip?
Well, depending upon which trip you're talking about, they all came out pretty good, I suppose. Very different, and of course, none of them were much like what I'd actually planned on, other than some point in the location.
Well, the last interview we did, I told you were just a driver.
Yes,
and you said, I know.
Yes, and I heard your voice repeat in my head a multitude of times in order to help me get through the completion of that journey. Unfortunately, you called frequently with weather updates, forecasts of
Doom.
At one point, we'd camped at Fort Rucker, Alabama. You know, the saying is that you can never go home, but all Army aviators eventually return home to Mother Rucker. And Fort Rucker is the home of Army aviation, so I was drawn to go back there. And had quite a bit of my past, I guess probably the best way to put it is regurgitate. It came up and I chewed it out and spit it out and dealt with a lot of things that I hadn't dealt with before. And we decided that we were going to go to the Gulf Coast and go down to Biloxi and hang a right and go over to New Orleans because of the three of us in the vehicle. I was the only one who had ever been to New Orleans, and my brother wanted to see it. And we were going through the back roads, sliding our way across Alabama. And I got a call from you. And the question, it wasn't, hi, how are you? It was, where are you? And I said, I was in Opp, Alabama, heading for Biloxi. And you said, no, you're not. Go north. There's a hurricane coming. So, much to the amazement of my brother and his girlfriend, I did exactly what you told me to do, and we got out of the Gulf Coast region post-haste. It wasn't a huge hurricane, but you know, it's rather foolish to drive into something that's hazardous like that when you know it's there. And since I wasn't being guided to go into it, I went away from it.
And then I said, do not go to the Grand Canyon. And you said,
well, I was already around it. They had a dike burst or something down in the Grand Canyon, and you were concerned about me. And the friend that I was heading for in southern Utah, he was also concerned because he knew I was at the Grand Canyon.
I didn't
realize it.
I didn't know you were there.
But, yeah, it was a small dike that burst, or a small dam, and we were up at the rim, which was like 5,000 feet
6
above
inches
it.
of water. 6 inches of water can make you float, you know.
Yeah, but I'd have had to fall off a cliff to get to it. And I'd have had a whole mile to think about it before I splashed in the water. So
Yeah.
So we were perfectly safe, and it was a wonderful drive. I found out that my Kia Sedona van can go from 40 miles stuck behind somebody out on a back road where you can see for miles straight out in front of you. And it can go from that to 100 in no time flat.
Yeah.
I loves my van.
Yeah.
Great cruising vehicle. Great cruising vehicle. But,
Well, there's a sign. It says driving prohibited. Beyond this point. So tell me the story, hon.
well, this is out at Capella State Beach and Airport, which is the beach in Washington.
Oh, it's a beach.
Yeah, it's a beach. And slightly south of this point is where we landed, and we taxied up to this area and parked the plane and got out and played in the river with the kids.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, this line you've seen, I'm taking this off the computer. Okay. In other words, you can't drive a car on the beach.
Nope.
And so you said that doesn't apply to me, right?
Well, it doesn't, because that beach is a state airport.
Oh.
So it's rather unusual. Yeah, landing out at Copalis is really cool. We were kind of...
You said you were initially...
Yeah, we were initially afraid of landing out at Copalis. It is a beach, and we didn't know what the surface was going to feel like, whether it was going to be soft or hard or what, and it's surprisingly a wonderful surface to land on, as long as you land on the slightly wet part and stay out of the dry part.
Wow.
And Copalis, actually, you'd have to check the tide schedule before you go out there.
Well, yeah.
Because the tide comes in so far, there's no place to park the plane in a high tide. You have to get off the beach. So you go in and you can visit, and then you need to get out of there.
So I'm almost assuming your skills, your helicopter skills, come in rather good sometimes, huh?
Yes. I was telling someone a story the other day that applies. When my husband and I first got this, we flew out to Hoquiam, and the ceilings were coming down, meaning that the clouds were getting lower and lower, and we're out over the water, and Hoquiam Airport's over here to our right, and Westport's out in front of us, and we were just dropping down and just starting to dodge in and out of clouds, and it dawned on both of us at the same time that we aren't flying a helicopter anymore, and we're flying a fixed wing, and we can't do this in this aircraft.
Oh,
And we needed to really modify how we think about flying, because we'd always been able to do what we wanted or needed to do in a helicopter. Can't quite get away with it in a fixed wing. You can't stop it on a dime. You can't hover it in the air and turn around and go back the other way. You need more space than that. So.
yeah. Awful lot of planes falling out the sky all of a sudden, though, huh?
There does seem to be a pretty good-sized rash of airplanes coming out of the sky.
Yeah.
I have wondered about that.
Frequencies, you think?
You know, I don't think it's frequencies as far as how it affects the mechanics or the electronics of the vehicle itself, the airplane. I saw a little news report today about that Air France flight that went down a couple of days ago, or last week, whatever it was. And there was a husband and wife who had missed the Air France flight.
I know.
And had thanked their lucky stars, and they have both, they have been in a really severe car accident.
They died.
And I know that the wife had died and the
Both
husband,
of them
both
died.
of them have died. So as far as a rash of airplane crashes is concerned lately, I don't think it has anything to do with the mechanical or electronic structures. I think it has to do with contracts.
Wow,
that
that's
those-
an interesting thought.
That those two people missed that flight, and within a few days they have died. They were meant to be on that flight.
The same thing happened with the race car driver. I've used that for an example. He had a car. What was his name? Gerhard.
Ah.
Erhard. Gerhard.
Gerhard.
Yeah, he had an accident that afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
and so people said, "Do you? You shouldn't drive." And he said, "I'm going to drive anyway." And he didn't. He died later on that day.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think that contractually we have a lot of people that it's their time to leave the planet right now. I'm hoping that warnings that I received 10 years ago, when I was really opening up to my spiritual nature and the metaphysics, I'm really hoping that some of the dire predictions are not going to come about, yet I don't know that we're going to be able to stop them or turn them. And if we can't, even if only half of what some of us had seen about the future comes through, those who are very fearful or timid may want to get out of here before that happens. Some people may just flat not be contracted to stay for it. They've got other things to do, or they need to be out of here in order to turn around and come back in as the next wave.
Well, and then sort of, similar lines, you had your dream vacation in Hawaii, and just wrap it up. Just give me the highlights.
Well, here I go with two couples, and the whole thing had been to go and room together and have a good time together, good friends. And we weren't able to get a 3-bedroom cottage, so we had to get 2. And for a year, I attempted to get a roommate to share the expenses of my cottage on a very reasonable price trip to Hawaii for 9 days, and couldn't get anybody to go with me. So not being able to find a roommate to go to Hawaii just to me is insane. And so my husband at the last minute pitched in and helped me with the finances, which is a miracle in itself.
We shouldn't have looked for those men, should we have? I forgot you was married.
Well, I never got around to figure out how to get up on the site.
Oh.
So the morning before I left, I woke up with a sore throat that lasted for about an hour and a half or so after I woke up. And on the flight over, I wasn't feeling real well. And when we got off the flight and got to Hawaii of a Friday morning, my voice was very hoarse, and by that afternoon I had no voice. So my friends all went off. They realized I was sick, so they all ended up going off, gallivanting on their own, and left me back there by myself on a trip to Hawaii by myself, which isn't how I thought I was going. And it took me a day and a half because I was really ill.
Okay, so let me stop you there and let me show them some. Hang on a minute.
Okay.
So there you are in Kalawea. What's the name of it?
That's Kilauea. Anyway, there I was in Hawaii.
Kalawea, by yourself.
Yeah.
No voice. You couldn't even say, "Help
Well, I was
me.
definitely hot as if I was on Kilauea.
Help me."
I couldn't speak that loud when I was trying to yell. Anyway, what I figured out, I had to look at it metaphorically. Okay, so what could this possibly mean if spirit were involved? And that we were supposed to be in cottages next door to each other, and they ended up being sent to the far end of the compound from where I was. I was by myself. I had no voice. It dawned on me that Spirit would like me to shift gears, be quiet, and kind of regroup. So I sat on my lanai for the first day and a half feeling sorry for myself. But after that, I'm sitting on my lanai sipping Kona coffee, which is my absolute world favorite, and looking at the surf, being warm, and realizing that if you're going to be ill, this is definitely the way to do it. Got out my book by Max Freedom Long on the secret science behind miracles, which is the beginning of the Huna path of healing, and one that I'm very in tune with, and restarted a meditation practice out on a jetty that's made of basalt rock, with the ocean all around me. First thing in the morning. It was just lovely. And just in general, getting back in touch with what aloha really is, and it's a way of being versus it being a word or a greeting, and it really is a way of being able to allow unpleasantries or displeasure to roll off your back because it's not part of you, and to be able to come from your heart in compassion without taking pity. It's a way of being that is a beingness of love and gentleness while embracing adventure and being present in the now and being joyful about it.
Okay, now you're home and I forgot your birthday and oh well.
I went and had rib tips anyway yesterday.
Did you? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Well,
they were finger looking good.
I was there with Mike and we had salmon and the rest of the goodies, and so I'm really glad you came by. We have like a minute and a half or something, or maybe two. You have plans for the summer? Yeah. You're gonna go flying and film some stuff for us.
Yes, next weekend, the 20th of June. I'm going with a friend one of the gals who was in Hawaii with me. She has a Cessna 182, and she's invited me to go with her. We're going to fly from Chehalis, Washington, over to an airfare on the other side of Yakima, Washington. So that's next weekend, and then the weekend after that, friends who live on an airfield down south of Chehalis, they're having a great big fly-in down there. So that's one of the things I was going to invite you to, see if you wanted to come out and take pictures.
Yeah, I could next week?
Weekend after.
Weekend after. Oh, right.
Yeah, it's a big, they had over 40 aircraft, private airplanes come in last year, and they have a barbecue, and it's just a great group of people.
We'll try to do that, and so I thank you for dropping back in your Cessna.
Swooping through.
Swooping through, yeah. And so thank you. And so anyway, in the next few weeks, we're gonna, be in touch with you again, and thank you very much. And happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night. Good night, hon.
Good night, sweetie.
Then another great thing is when you make spur of the moment decisions like that, and sometimes it really turns into something really well. Now, normally, we have an insert and we take you places, and the shows get really, really busy because everybody's used to the almost like a reality type show that we've been doing for several years. But every once in a while we can do it like that and just sit and listen to what people have to say. And then I guess next week we'll go back to the action type thing. What I mean by action is not like an action movie, but where you see people doing something or going somewhere. But every once in a while it's really okay to just sit and talk and look at other people's perspectives or share fun story. Look at Carrie, she had fun. Well, she didn't think she had fun at the time, but now we laugh about it, and that's the beauty of the whole thing. Sometimes we have to be able to laugh at ourselves in order to overcome something that really troubled us at the time. And so today that's what we did, and I thought it was wonderful that the friends dropped in. And then, like I said, next week we're gonna go do stuff again. And so thank you for joining us. Actually, this is last week started a new season, and so that would make starts our 13th year on TCTV, and I'm real grateful because there you are, you're still hanging with me. Quite a few of the shows are now on MySpace, MySpace Nigeria. You can go there, or you go to my website, and there's a link there where you can go to MySpace and watch the shows. And so I thank you at the beginning of the season for sticking with me for another season is 6 months, for another 6 months. And that's all we're gonna say today. Not we, just me, because my friends have left, and they all got home safe again. And I'll talk to you. We're going somewhere next week, so you have a wonderful week. Until then, love and light. Bye.
wageni wakaribishwa hapa kwetu, hakuna matata, njia kupendeza, hakuna matata, njia moja, hakuna matata, njia watoto moja, hakuna matata.
We've had fun. Take us here, and you take us there, and it is just because you really care.